Good morning, everyone. My name is MightyStream. I'm going to do our March 6th Spiritual Principle a Day in a meditation. I hope you're doing well today. I am not too shabby. The title of the meditation for today, Honesty and Reality. Honesty is a commitment to reality. Guiding Principles, Tradition 1, in service. If honesty really is a commitment to reality, then we addicts definitely need help in this arena. Many of us gained reality for as long as we can remember. A member shared, we tend to not see things as they are, we see them as we are. Often our version of the past isn't necessarily reliable. Today, we can be confused about how much to say that's on our minds and who to say it to. And then oversharing or being needlessly brutal in our truth telling. By working the 12 steps, we address our past and present commitment to reality. Through that process, one truth becomes apparent. No matter how hard we try, we can't make something true that isn't. Denial can be fierce and keeps us running for years. But ultimately, it's not more powerful than reality. The member quipped, reality will always catch up with you. Hopefully, it's just your spouse, a government agency, or a pair of handcuffs, not the morgue. We carry our commitment to reality with us as home group members and in service. Tradition 1 tells us to consider NA's common welfare, not just our own. Our commitment to reality can be complicated by having to consider the realities of our fellow group members. Does this mean, then that we'll all have the same perspective on how to put our common welfare first? In a word, no. But what we can do is stay committed to spiritual principles in our group work. There will be communication problems and differences of opinion. We can start by telling or by being real about that and accepting our responsibility as committed NA members to face these challenges. As individuals, we can commit to admitting when we're wrong or when we don't know something. We can be candid about caring deeply about the outcome of a particular decision. We can be real about the fact that we don't remember every single detail about the past and can't predict the future. We can make an honest self-assessment and realize that our self-centeredness is working against our desire to serve. Then we have taken a great step towards shedding our denial and embracing reality. I like that sentence. I want to reread it. When we can make an honest assessment and realize that our self-centeredness is working against our desire to serve, then we can take a great step toward shedding our denial and embracing reality. Today, I acknowledge my commitment to seeking and expressing the truth, respecting others' perspectives, and staying real. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you, God. Grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. I like this meditation. I'm sitting here thinking I could probably reread this 3 or 4 times before it would all sink in. You know, a lot of times the spiritual principle of day meditation feeds off of the just for today. Like that was their launching pad so that they could have something that was in the same vein of the just for today, which has already been, considered generally because most people have access to that. And it's generally speaking the one that you might hear in a meeting. And I like this, talking about honesty, because the just for today was talking about rationalizing away our recovery and ending with the fact that we need to assess ourselves, examine ourselves, to be serious about the fact that we oftentimes rationalize things. And I think in that examination, out pops, right, the three indispensable spiritual principles: honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. And it's hitting hard on honesty in this meditation, about keeping it real. One thing I said the other day was that recovery allows me to make space for not having all the answers. And I like when it talks about that by keeping it real, we're not talking about being needlessly brutal or oversharing. No, we know we all have done it, but that's not what we're talking about right now. Let's go from the negative part of it to the positive part of it, right? Which is being able to assess our reality versus our illusion of reality, being able to assess that and acknowledge that. So in this, making space for me to not have all the answers and me being willing to admit that I don't have all the answers. I don't remember the past completely, nor do I know the future, right? By keeping it real, keeping it 100, I'm able to say in any given situation, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. Or I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know, right? Help me with this. What do you think? I don't have all the answers. You are your best expert on who you are. So what do you think you should do in this situation? And why? Maybe in helping you analyze that, your why, you can come up with the decision to do it or not do it. Right? It feels so good to make space for myself that way, right? And so in what ways can you do the same? Because we know that honest assessment and the ability to realize that self-centeredness, right, pursuing our own best interests, it's not a part of our common welfare coming first. It doesn't say that you're not an individual, that you don't have an opinion. No, none of that. But in this group of Narcotics Anonymous, we try to look at the whole picture and benefit the whole fellowship, the whole program of Narcotics Anonymous, and not detract from it. And that requires that individuals individually set their own best interests aside at times for the greater good. And being, generally speaking, self-centered and a selfish person. And I think sometimes, that self-care is not as innate as it should be. So sometimes you can go overboard and everything is about you. I believe that. I've done it and you have too. Everyone has at some point in time, but the point is, can we correct it? Can we bring it into more balance so that we're in a position to be of service? There's people doing service that were never voted in to do that service. The structure of what we know in business meetings at area and at higher levels is that people serve for certain terms for a certain period of time. But there's some areas where the person has always done this particular responsibility, and the group has weighed heavily on their willingness to continue to do it. But the group sacrifices its freedom of autonomy by allowing one individual to always be the GSR, to always be the chair, always be the treasurer, to always be the secretary. Sometimes because of laziness, but sometimes because of fear of not wanting to go up against another individual to be considered as a nominee for a position. And we give over our control. Allowing people to over contribute to the seventh tradition gives a feeling that the group can't survive without their money. And it's a we thing, not an I thing or a one person thing. Right. And so these are areas that I'm not sure how much time you have in recovery or how much experience you've had on the group level, but these are things that we all need to consider. Being honest about things in a manner that says this is the reality, right? And this is what is going on, assessing the situation, and this is what I need to do. I hope that makes sense for you. I love this meditation. I love what this person says here. The member quipped, reality will always catch up with you. Hopefully it's just your spouse, a government agency, or a pair of handcuffs and not the morgue. Sounds so, it makes sense, right? But it's a little bit rough, right? Hopefully, some of these other areas that can be a thorn sometimes in our toe, right? Spouse, government agency, maybe even get in trouble with the law. It's all a cut above dying because we could not look at realities. We could not look at the truth of who we are and assess it, and then be able to register within our own minds, heart, spirit, what we need to do and do that versus what we want to do. My name is MightyStream. I've enjoyed talking to you. I could talk about this one all day. I think I'm gonna call up a friend of mine later on today and just ask them, would you like to do the spiritual principle a day meditation with me? And just read it. I read a paragraph, they read a paragraph, and then share openly about it, because I think this is, a good one for my recovery today. I hope that you'll have a beautiful day on purpose. I'm looking at the clock. It says 4:53. And I'm thinking about what can I clean before I have to work the boys up? What area can I sort out before I wake up the boys, right? That's what my mind is on now. I'm going to have a beautiful day regardless of what I do. I'm definitely going to make it the best day possible for me. And I want for you to do the same, right? I'm saying for me in the sense of, if I don't do it, I know no one else can or will for me. And in that sense, yeah, you have to take authority over that and how you respond to situations. You absolutely have to. And welcome to recovery. This is the new and improved version of you. And I think it's lovely. Don't ever, ever let that go. Fight for your recovery. Fight for your recovery. And that's what you're doing. Coming in here and listening to the meditation, spending time with MightyStream. That's what you're doing. But there's always more for us to do. But if it's all you can do just for today, if it's all that you can do, just make up in your mind to not use no matter what. And it'll pass. Tomorrow I'll be here before you know it. Just hold on. Just hold on. You guys take care now. Talk to you tomorrow.